here. Start that one. Oi! Go, guys! Go, guys! One ball, man! One ball! One ball! Everyone, two balls! Right? One ball! One ball! Go, guys! Go, guys! Good stuff, eh? Go, guys! Go, guys! Stay with that. Let's stay with that. Yeah. Start. Legs up. Not bad, not bad, eh? Go, guys! Go, guys! Righty, righty.
Extra still a cover. We're going down.
Yeah.
You would? Nah, we're right.
45.
Still up.
Yeah, that's the off stamp.
Hey. Gotcha.
Bullets coming right on over.
Aki. Come on, you Jay.
Go, guys!
You back here?
My fellas!
Come here, you Jay.
One and. That's fine.
I can't see.
What point do stamp.
Kata, tell me.
It's coming right up over 3 left. Coming around. Oh, that's it. Last one is coming right around 3 left.
All right, well, the picture on your screen lets you know that the season 5 of the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 tournament is on. And we are coming to you live from the Lassages playing field, bringing you this first encounter in season 5. Is the Ginger Generals. They are coming up against the Nawasa Cinnamon Pieces. It's going to be a really good, interesting contest here today. Ginger Generals, they finished. So you see that shot there from Saint Hilaire. Clears the rope. And so that's 6 more runs to the Cinnamon Pacers. And they seem to be motoring as I welcome Justin Hector to the microphone.
Yes, good morning, and wherever you're viewing this telecast, and one really expects eventful tournament. Would expect there will be quite a number of exciting matches. It has started that way so far. In fact, Nicosi Saint-Hilaire has started off, as I said, rather aggressively. In fact, he's had a pretty good season so far this year in local tournaments in terms of run scoring. So one expects that to continue.
Saint Hilaire again lifting this one. Fielder out there at the mid-wicket boundary and reduces it to 1. So certainly Saint Hilaire coming in with quite a bit of form. We've seen him in the local tournament, the NLAGCA T20, and really was in blistering form. I think, really putting down some good scores.
Yes, and of course the Cinnamon Pacers will hope that that continues. But he's a very plucky player, He will continue to go at the bowling once the ball is in the areas that he loves. And as I said earlier, one waits to see, how well these guys, especially there's a number of guys, in fact, on all of these teams who has contributed well, who has made pretty good scores this year so far. So a number of them are coming in with pretty good form.
Yeah, certainly as we look at the lineup, we see over number 3 is going to be bowled by Jonathan Taylor, another one of the youngsters that we've seen a bit in the local tournament.
Goes from previous years also, so he has some experience.
Saint-Hilaire may just think that he missed out there.
Because Saint-Hilaire wouldn't want him to settle into any kind of rhythm. Want to get after him pretty early. Gilks, who started from the northern end, didn't have a pretty good start. So as a result of that, we see the Taylor replacing him from the northern end.
Saint-Hilaire goes over the top. It's going to roll close to the boundary. It's pulled in by Eugene. So he will pick up 2 more, but a good looking shot. Just looking to keep the ball outside the off stump. Not really looking to target. It was a bit short.
Of course, it's a much shorter power play than less than 20 overs. So you'll have to make hay now at this point. And in the power play, you have to take as much advantage as you can.
And he's down, getting inside of this one, lifting it high, handsome. That seems to be 6-run signal now. And so Taylor just a bit straight and moving down the leg side. Saint Hilaire just getting inside of this one and lifting it really nicely. So 6 more to Saint Hilaire, moves him on to 21. He is in a rush.
Yes, so of course, an almost action replay to the previous 6, in fact, the first 6 of the match. A delivery just slanting down the leg side and just picking it up and launching it over the boundary for 6.
Slower delivery there, just really outfoxing the batter. So good thinking by Jonathan Taylor. He knew that the pressure was on him, and he came up with the slower delivery. What was good is that he pitched it in the right area.
Of course, yes. And having one of the better fielders just behind point, just behind point in George.
So Taylor, 2 deliveries remain. Again, another slower delivery. St. Hilaire playing through rather quickly. The ball was way ahead of him.
Of course, 10 overs, it's a real rush. There's not much time. Before you know it, it will be midway point, and then it will be coming to the end of the 10 overs. So batsman always has to be on the go.
Again, looking to go, going hard. Outside edge found. 4 more runs to Nkosi St. Hilaire, and the Cinnamon Pacers, they rush up to 34 without loss at the end of over number 3.
Of course, you will see a lot more shots like those as the 10 over progresses, because batsmen will be looking to go pretty hard. And of course, a lot of these shots sometimes, if they're not got proper hold of them, they will go into strange angles, strange directions, as we saw there from Nkosi St. Hilaire. But it adds up. It's a boundary, 34 without loss.
So the Ginger Generals, they will be under a bit of pressure. They will be under a bit of pressure. You have a little shot. They will want to make sure that they keep that run scoring to a minimal. The run rate so far, 11.33. It means that they have quite a bit of work to do to pull this game back. If they continue at this rate, then certainly the Cinnamon Pacers will be looking at a score of maybe closer to 120.
We have had a chance to assess the conditions, the pitch. But one aspect that the slower bowlers will probably have something to say as far as restricting the Cinnamon Pacers are concerned.
Regis goes after Eugene. It's high. It's going to be taken. And so the first wicket goes. Shondell Regis, he's out caught. And Bartholomew, they're taking a good catch. It went really high. Let's look at the replay here. Top edge. Going really high. Settling under it is Kavon Bartholomew. And taking a good catch.
Well, I almost didn't have them finish saying what I think as far as the effects of the spinners in tournaments in this type of competition. And immediately after, Shondell Regis looking to probably go over the onside when he probably should have gone with the direction of the turn and not been able to get hold of it, the ball coming off the top edge and offering a simple catch to Bartholomew. And of course, the first wicket, not surprisingly, as I said, fall into spin.
Certainly, the spinners will have a lot of work to do here. As we see the incoming batsman, Daniel Williams. And Williams is known for quite a bit of power hitting himself. Has been around a few of the leagues within his home country, and so one expects that he will come here to the Spiceisle and really look to spice it up.
Of course, Eugene picking up the first wicket, and a man who is, again, no stranger to the Spiceisle either, and also, of course, famously John Eugene, who is his father, would have had quite some merry times too in terms of scoring runs and in the Spiceisle.
So he's getting off the mark right away.
I'm sure John Eugene will be probably listening or viewing this telecast and following this tournament. If he's say good morning, and good morning to all of those cricketers around the region, around the windwards, and beyond, those who are tuning into this broadcast this morning. A very good morning, and to tell you that it's pretty, really very nice atmosphere here at the last just playing field.
St. Hilaire goes into this one and bringing up another 6. And so he really is in good touch, St. Hilaire. Eugene just a bit wide outside the off stump, allowing the ball to turn back into St. Hilaire. And he just went with the tide and really good connection, clearing the boundary by a long way.
Of course, where you would need to be is a little straighter to St. Hilaire. And just like that, and just cramping him for room a bit. Now we cannot really extend the arm. And just managing to steer it out into the offside, just behind square on the offside where Bartholomew came in and do the fielding. And of course, a dot ball, they would need to bowl a lot more of those.
Again, going back, cutting well. 4 more. That one really sped across the outfield and well placed by St. Hilaire. He's really in good touch. I must continue to say this. We've seen him really just take this bowling apart so far. 35 from 18 deliveries. I mean, a really good strike rate here. Eugene under a bit of pressure.
Again. Probably got away with this one also. It was short, it was wider side the off stump. And St. Hilaire probably just backing away a bit too far. Therefore couldn't access the ball. And luckily to get away with that. But 45 for 1. And after 4, so pretty steady start. Well, more than steady. Well, net of well over 11. So probably dreams of achieving at least 120. And that would be a pretty good, will make for a pretty good run chase.
Yeah, it certainly will make for a good run chase. It's so far a run rate of 11.25 means that they will get close to or maybe even exceed 120 once they continue like this. The wicket is a good one. It continues to play well. It's batters friendly, but at the same time, if the bowlers put it in the right areas, they will certainly get reward. Taylor, he's going to come back for his second over. Generals will need him maybe just to pick up a wicket here, just to pull back the game somewhat. I think it would be a good thing for them if they can pick up, more importantly, not Williams. Williams hadn't had much of the strikers yet, but maybe if they can get to see the back of St. Hilaire, they will be happy.
Only one. Back it up, eh?
Yes, because St. Hilaire has confidence, he has runs behind him, and it's very showing now. And although they have picked up 1 wicket, it really hasn't dented the scoring rate. I think that's where you want to see. They tend not so much in wickets in 10 overs. One doesn't expect that team could get bowled out in 10 overs. So it's about restricting to the total to something really manageable.
Yes, certainly they want to restrict this bowling. The Pacers with this bowling, they want to restrict the Cinnamon Pacers because they know the lineup. They have some really good power hitters within their lineup. Again, St. Hilaire goes high. It's high. It's going to take some catching. Oh. And it's put down. It's put down. And as I said earlier, they really would have loved to see the back of St. Hilaire. And there goes the opportunity. It's hit high off the top edge. And really a long time in the air. And unfortunately, the fielder there in Stewart cannot hold on.
Well, you need to hold on to those type of chances. Taylor will count himself very unfortunate. It was a good delivery. It was straight, and it was probably a slower ball. One could see him probably just running his hand down. Another slower ball attempted. And he could have had the wicket of St. Hilaire. And to add insult to injury now, another misfield, and it goes away for 4. So there has to be better than that in the field.
Yeah, again, slower delivery. And not really executed as he would like. And so a full toss presented. And as I said earlier, Williams, known to be a pretty good hard hitter of the cricket ball, made full use of this one.
Yes, and to be fair to the fielder down there that looked like Jilks, it came pretty quickly and he couldn't get across.
Williams just looking to pull that one through the mid-wicket region. A red dot ball.
Yeah, probably just losing the form there. Looking to hit it too hard. Ball slanting across the left hander. And Taylor, the unfortunate bowler.
Again, this time shot down the leg side. Will be penalized.
Of course, quite long arms of the umpire, almost like an albatross. He stretches his arm across. Taylor just raising his hand, probably looking to fool the umpire into believing that they were probably on edge on the leg side.
Again, this one crunched hard. Half stop there by the fielder. That's Charles. He made a valiant attempt. In the end, they pick up one.
A bit of untidy period for the Ginger Generals out in the field there. There just a few fumbles here and there. Drop catch. One drop catch. I think you can afford games like that.
Slower delivery, badly lined. St. Hilaire needing no other invitation. Swept this one beautifully across the top with sped. 4 more runs to him. He moves to 40 and 57th on the board for the Cinnamon Pacers. They're 50 coming up really quickly.
Yes, of course, and you wouldn't get away with that, for sure, against St. Hilaire in that type of form that he's in. And the pitch has nothing really in it. It's a nice, seems like a pretty nice, easy batting wicket. So one expect bowlers would be under the pump for the duration of the innings. And if that's an indication of probably, if we're going to see probably even more greater attack being launched later on as the innings progress, I think, as you said earlier, we could be looking at a total somewhere in the region of 120 shoot from here.
Yeah, the bowlers will be under a bit of pressure to really pull this one back. 57 and 5. So 57 from 30 deliveries. That's a really good, healthy rate to be going at. 11.4 and over.
George will come in the left arm orthodox spinner. He'll be bowling from the pavilion end here. It'll be an interesting period in the game. He's a very experienced player now.
And there goes Williams dissecting the 2 fielders out at the cover region. And he picks up 4. A really good shot. Really laid into this one.
Well, that was a loosener. That's a reminder that there is no place for that here. Delivery just wide and pitched up and wide outside the off stump, and it gave the left hander the chance to dispatch it, place it pretty nicely through the cover region.
Again, power in this one. We'll just pick up a single. Jeremiah Fields out there. Williams, he moves to 12 from 7.
There's not too many dot balls played, and that's what you don't want to be playing, too many dot balls. There's rotation in the strike until they will come in now. This time now the ball will be going away from the right hander, so it will be interesting to see how St. Hilaire plays it.
Down the leg side, George.
Base up, you're strong, and you're bad good.
Swing at the delivery side. He also not really getting the type of contact that he wanted. course, as I said, the ball going away from the right hander now. A little bit more difficult to pull across it and to get it onto the onside. But Centilier anyway moves on by 1. And the total 64 for 1. Still a healthy rate, 11.6. And again, this time hit high, hard, handsome over the offside field, and that gone a long way again for 6. So this time it's Williams in the hunt as a short delivery, not so short. In fact, it was wide. It was outside the off stump, and it gave the batsman the room and the chance to free the arm. And more 10 out of 10 times, most likely that will be put away.
Certainly will be put away. Ball outside the stump. It means that you can get the hands through it and really get through it really nicely, as we saw there.
Again.
This time on the onside. He tugged this one from outside the off stump. But what was good is that he placed it really nicely. Got enough power. Look at that bat swing through it. Really quick hands there. And picking up another boundary. So the Pacers, they really have set a good pace here. And they're looking to motor on.
And that's a good matchup for Williams. The fact that Dennis George is bowling left arm orthodox, the ball is coming into the left hander. So therefore he can just go with the turn. And there was no risk involved there. The ball coming into him and took it on the turn and hit it through the onside. Really with not having to take any risk, as I said earlier. George again, and this time hit high and hard, and he's high up in there. And who is getting on there? The keeper is going, and he's taking a good catch. So Anil Matthew this time holding on to this one as Williams are trying again to go. That look like looking to go over the onside or over the offside, and just managing to hit it high into the air. As we see the replay, and George coming across and took not as comfortable as he should he would have wanted, but holding on to the catch in the end, and a pretty brief knock again by Williams, and the second wicket has fallen.
Well, again, a good wicket at a good time. The Ginger Generals will be happy that they've seen the back of Williams. He got 22, really not settling in. A big cameo for him. But importantly, they pick up a wicket. In this format, the more wickets you pick up, it's the more that you control the rate in which the game goes.
As I said, they have picked up 2 wickets, but really they haven't done anything to the rate. In fact, if anything, it has gone up now to 12.33. And pretty expensive over in terms of the normal economy rate of Dennis George. Will not be happy with that at all. He went for 17, though he picked up a wicket. And Asif Hooper comes in. So, of course, there is the regional blend in this tournament, players from across the windward, and I think Barbados too.
Yes, we have quite a few players from within the region. Hooper, we know him to be a hard-hitting batter from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we've seen him in the VPL. And so I think it's his first time in the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10, so he will want to set a pace very early to allow the other teams in the tournament to know that he has arrived.
Yes. And he'll be facing up to the wiry Williams. That's from Redmond in St. Patrick. Oh, and outside the off stump. To have gotten away with that, because he had the room outside the off stump.
Well, I wouldn't say that he got away with it. I think this is the field that they're working with. They're looking for the wide Yorkers and not really want the ball to be too close to the batsman where he can get that power through it. If he's reaching for it somewhat, I think that throws him off balance. The ability to really get power wouldn't be there.
Right, correct. So, having the fieldsman set down deep on the boundary at extra cover, he would say he did what he set out to do. Very slim.
Again, Williams, a really good young pacer, has quite a good head on his shoulders.
Yes. That varies pace quite a bit.
Again, this one is lifted past the fielder, rushes into the boundary now, and so Hooper, he's on his way. He has announced his arrival with a boundary.
And probably an attempted slow ball there outside the off stump. But I don't know how much Williams would know of Hooper. But very powerful man. Plays pretty well through the offside, so probably need to keep the ball a lot straighter. May look to hit top of off.
Well, this one just lined down the leg side. Really doesn't have the field placing for this. And so easy single picked up there. But we've seen Williams pick up quite a bit of wickets in the St. Patrick's tournament that was held earlier in February. And then he came into the GCA NLA T24 Red Mud, picked up quite a few wickets there again. And so these boys have, quite a bit of cricket within the last few months. So we expect that they're really going to bring, that sort of experience. Nothing better than playing out in the middle. Slower delivery. Again, well disguised.
It's not giving the batsman too much pace to work with, and that's what you want.
Saint-Hilaire, 42 from 24. I know he's always itching to go, so anything offline will be dealt with. As we see him there again, going hard after this one. Outside edge found, and 4 more runs to Saint-Hilaire. He will tell you that he opened the face there and guided that one past this third man. But Williams will think to himself, that was an edge that could have gone to hand. So Saint-Hilaire moves up to 46. Will he be the first to register the first 50 of the tournament? And that would be a really good way to announce yourself and to announce your team and let the fans know that Cinnamon Pacers mean business. Again, wide outside the stump. Umpire signaling a wide delivery. Just wants to keep it within that white line guideline. Don't really want it to run away from him. Saint-Hilaire on 46. Slower delivery outside the stump, lifted, and it's gone all the way for 6. So 6 more to Saint-Hilaire. That should bring up his 50. And what a way to start the Season 5 of the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 tournament with a 50 behind your name.
And it went over extra cover on away for 6. In fact, over squarish cover, more towards squarish cover than extra cover. It's been a pretty good shot, pretty good hit. So,
so at the end of over number 7, 91 for 2, the Cinnamon Pacers, they will really be happy with this position. Some 3 overs to go. It means that they can get maybe 130, 140. They still have the likes of Ryan John to come. So the bowlers here will have to be on point and really look to draw this game back.
So really making our prediction look a little bit short. We were talking about 120, now we're talking about 140. And that's the nature of the game.
Well, it's going to be Bartholomew. It's going to be Cleveland Bartholomew with the ball in hand. He will be bowling to Hooper.
That's a pretty good line to Hooper. It's just about no ball. That's, yeah,
Certainly not the
cardinal
way you
error.
want to start.
A real cardinal error.
You do not want to start your T10 tournament in this fashion. No ball signal there, and it means that Bartholomew will be under pressure. Gets away with this one. Only 1 run scored. And again, Bartholomew, one of our young under 19 players. And so he has been playing quite a lot of cricket in recent times. We had the under 19 tournament played right here in Grenada. And from there, he went straight into the GCNLA T20. And now he's here. He has bowled really well at the under 19 level. I think he was the leading wicket taker. And so it means that the Ginger General expect him to do a job. There he goes against St. Hilaire, lifting this one. It goes far. It is high, handsome, and that's 6 more to St. Hilaire.
Yes, and Bartholomew would have played quite a bit of cricket here too. All the under 19 matches would have been played here, so he should be quite familiar with the conditions here. But it's so hard when you have somebody like St. Hilaire on the other hand who is hitting the ball as cleanly as he is and as powerfully as he is today.
Under pressure, Bartholomew, shot. Again, this one a bit faster and seemed to have just bounced a bit higher.
So every dot ball is like goal right now for the Ginger Generals.
The 100 is up for the Cinnamon Pacers. So from here, anything that they get past this 100, I think they would call that a bonus.
I think we're looking at 130 plus. I think we might be looking at here. And that would certainly be a tremendous target. Catching the old field there as if Hooper goes, looking to pull away all the onside and taking down in the deep, down in the mid wicket boundary. And that type of time, that kind of time, one doesn't expect a batsman to come in here. You can't take much time to settle down. We're not in over number 8. There will only be 2 overs after this. And Hooper had to go for it. And easy catch being taken. It looked like not Jeremiah down there. No.
Yeah, easy catch there taken. Yeah. But what was important was the line of this one.
Yes.
It just seemed to have bounced a bit on him. And as we rightly said, Bartholomew, we know he can bowl. He has the experience. I think he understands what it is to bowl at this level. Though he's just come out of the under-19 tournament, but really is a youngster with a good head on his shoulders. And so responding, the pressure is on him, but he responds with a wicket.
Yes.
And not just any wicket, but the wicket of Asif Hooper.
And going for 9 runs is quite acceptable in this situation. Going for only 9, you think that he really had it's pretty a good over so far. Although there are 2 deliveries left, if you can end strong, I mean, that's what you want to do. They always say it's not how you begin, but how you finish, it's how you end. So Ryan John has come out. And one expect with Ryan John, of course, and St. Hilaire there. If this stays to the end, you can expect quite some very big hitting. John gets off the mark with a single. St. Hilaire, on the other hand, is on 59 from 28. So it's going well over 200 strike rate. And this is tremendous in any form of the game.
Yeah, really good strike rate there by St. Hilaire. There he goes, just tugging this one. They will be looking for two. Misfield there, not really helping the bowler. They're just putting extra pressure on the bowler there. Should have closed off this over a bit better, but the fielding not really up to par.
And if that's Dennis George, probably it's not what you normally see from George. Just rushing in there, probably taking his eye off the ball.
I think it had a little bubble.
Possibly.
Yeah, just a little bubble, lifting it over the hands.
Of course, the coach will tell you that you got to get something behind it. He didn't on that occasion, and it cost the team. And yes, so he'll have to make amends for that because he will be bowling the next over. I think he should be pretty mad with himself and look to make amends for that slip off in the field. Of course, we are seated here and we're feeling the heat, so one can imagine what it's like out there. It's pretty hot out there. We've had some pretty hot days in recent times.
Yeah, certainly. The humidity will be on out there, really humid outside. That's George, ball in hand, to John, who hits this one really hard and crashing it past the fielder. A valiant effort, but really it was firmly struck. And so another boundary to the Cinnamon Pacers. John opening his account. Well, actually, that's his second delivery and picking up 4.
So far, George haven't had a good time of it so far. He went for 17 in the first over and already 4 in this over. And he'll want to pick himself up. He's an experienced campaigner. And again, thumped by John, and that will go for pretty close to the boundary again. And good tumbling save out there by Jilks. And they had to. And again, a little mess up again, not being gathered by George. And the batters get an extra for it. Can't afford to this little slip offs and so in this game, see, because these games are won and lost by very small margins.
I quite agree with you there. You need to be as clinical as possible in your execution. 112 for 3. George to St. Hilaire, rocked back, really not getting into a good position. I think that one was a bit slower than he expected. Could only come up with a single. So good response from George. He's certainly under pressure.
Yes, indeed. And this next 9 or so deliveries, very serious times for the Gingers.
John backs away, lifting this one through the offside. Running close to the boundary, well fielded there. And they pick up 2.
Good save by Joel Jeremiah out on the deep extra cover boundary. But still gets 2. Already 9 runs in the first 4.
Again, John just looking to give himself room and then get back in line. Exposing the stumps and asking the bowler to maybe try and hit it.
John has been backing away for the most part.
Again, St. Hilaire lifting this one.
No way.
It's going to go past the man at short fine leg. And picking up another boundary. So St. Hilaire really in good nick. Continues to show the form that he's in. That opportunity to get him out earlier. Certainly the Ginger Generals, they are paying for it now.
And praying, Brother Daly, because and probably George may have gotten away probably with that too, because we saw previously deliveries similar to that. St. Elias deposited them over the boundary. This time probably not quite getting hold of them as he should, and as a result picking up 4, but 4 good runs, 4 important runs still for the Cinnamon Pacers, and at 120, you see probably 130, 135 could well be.
Well, with the likes of St. Elias, who's in the form that he's in, and John, one will expect that they may just close this innings at about 140.
Only know for sure that Williams is a pretty good death bowler. Does mix the space up quite a bit. Lots of his deliveries are really pace-off deliveries, and but it will be very interesting. We know where John would be aiming. We know where St. Elias will be aiming, and it's have to see how well Williams will control proceedings. Already, it's a decent total, 120. Whether it's a winning total, too early to know that.
Again, this one coming off the edge, catch taken. Good catch there by Jonathan Taylor, running in from third man. And picking up a good catch there to see the back of John. So a good way to start the over, Williams.
And that is exactly how you're going to keep things under control, by taking wickets at this point, at this stage. It was a delivery outside the off stump, and John threw everything at it and not getting in the middle of the bat at all, instead finding the outer portion of the bat and going down towards Thurman, where a pretty good catch was taken. And John not contributing too handsomely to the scoreboard. But good bowling again. Probably again a little bit of pace off the ball again. And John not quite getting hold of it. So Ronald Williams not for 17. He have not that's what his second over. And yeah.
Yeah, certainly a good way to start the over. It's the final over of the innings. You really want to keep that total just around where it is, 120, maybe 125. You don't want it to cross 130. It means that you have to be scoring at 13 and over from the get-go. Oh, slower delivery, and this one is really well hit. That's 6 runs to Alfred Bishop, who has just come in. And Bishop doesn't need to get acclimatized to the condition. He knows the condition, and he goes with the flow. What a shot.
Yes, big shot delivery again. Similar to a delivery that was bowled to John. The difference is he really got under it, he got across to it, and hit it with the middle of the bat, hit it with power, and hit it over extra cover, and it went all the way for 6. Well, we've had a new pope recently, and we can enjoy the Bishop out there. Well, I know he didn't vote for the. He was not part of the conclave now. You know
Well, the Bishop is out, and the Pope just maybe at the Vatican still. Would not want to be in this humid condition under this sort of pressure.
No.
Wide delivery. Bishop just intimidating the bowler there. Bowler doesn't want to get anywhere close to him.
Again, it seemed like another attempted slower ball, which just didn't quite come out of the hand the way he wanted it to. And started down the leg side, and a really decent take by Anel Matthews. Seen so easily, that could have so easily gotten away from him and go down to the boundary.
Again, good comeback delivery. Just rushing Bishop somewhat. Bishop looking maybe for a fuller delivery.
So they have gone rather steadily from the start. The rate has always been just over in around the 11, 12, 13 mark, and it seems like that's about where it will finish. This time another wide. This time a piece on delivery. One could see it's a lot quicker than the previous delivery.
Don't know where to ball now, eh?
Just losing the radar there.
Yeah, I think the thinking it was right to try and get it just wide of the batter, but unfortunately it pitched and went further away. But he wants to use the angle and push Bishop. Again, you see good thinking from Williams. Just mixing it up. Yorker length, short deliveries. So batter does have to think and wonder what is next.
Back over for you.
It's not predictable at all.
No, it was another slow ball. And one can see him almost having to wait for eternity for the ball to get to him. And again, defeating Nicosi Saint-Hilaire with this one again. Slow delivery outside the off stump. And Saint-Hilaire looking to hike it somewhere down the ground. And just being beaten there for pace.
Yeah, as we said again, a pretty tricky customer. Ronald Williams does have that bag of tricks. And so far, apart from that 6 from Bishop, I think he has done well.
Indeed. Very
restricting the scoring rate. Saint-Hilaire goes after him. This one is high. It's going.
And it's mighty.
And it's gone. It's gone. It's out of here. 135 for 4 in their 10 overs. The Cinnamon Pacers, they will be happy with this total. They will be happy with the fact that Saint-Hilaire has come out not out on 74 from 33 deliveries. Really made good use of the conditions. A happy camp, Cinnamon Pacers.
Yes, indeed. And if they can bowl half decently than probably what we saw from the... Although it was not really... We can't really put it down to bad bowling. It was just a knockout of... a brilliant knock by Saint-Hilaire. I think that would have really been the difference between the two teams so far. And quite significantly ending it also with a 6. So what started well certainly ended well, and 135, 136 to win, and that would be no walk in the park for sure. When the Ginger Generals get a chance to reply.
Well, certainly a good start to season 5 of the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 tournament. The Cinnamon Pacers, they were asked to bat first by the Ginger Generals, and they really came out attacking from ball 1 and putting on a really good score here, and it will take some getting. Let's see on the other side when we return how the Ginger Generals will respond. So until then, we ask you to stay tuned. We'll be back.
So welcome back here with the Nawasa Cinnamon Pacers, 135 for 4. That's the score they got. So the Ginger Generals, they need 136 in 10. I think this is a very good total here. Good afternoon to you, Justin.
Just good afternoon to you, Pastor.
Here is the first delivery, left alone outside the off stump. So, means that a run rate of just over 13. And in a 10 over contest, that's a pretty good run rate.
Let's hope that it will make for a very interesting match. Because I just had a chat with Mr. Jeremiah. Both of his sons are out there at the moment.
Yeah, interesting that.
Yes. I'm sure there are other family members around, various cricketers.
So here's Francis. Open the face of the bat is Johan Jeremiah, gets his first run. He's been in good touch too,
Yes,
Johan
indeed.
Jeremiah. And if he could carry that from the breakout tournament and carry that into this tournament, then there'll be quite a bit of credibility behind his name. Gerald Jeremiah facing up from Francis and driving out on the onside, the ball inadvertently taking the inner portion of the bat. That's not where he wanted to hit it. So it's a quiet start. Didn't go ball searching, ball hitting, thumping from the very first ball. But in 10-10 cricket, you don't have much time to get yourself in. Advancing down the track, lives that. That's going to go close to the boundary. It's catchable just over the boundary line. Did it go all the way? No, maybe.
Yes, it did.
Yes, in fact. So that's the first carry power hit for 6.
Yes.
Good shot. Stayed in the air for a long time, but when it came down in the end over the boundary line, and he tried to hit that straight, that was straight enough.
Indeed. Asif Hooper, who gave chase, never had a chance. In fact, the ball did run about a meter over the boundary.
A delivery that
Well, that was hit as well as you'll see anything. Your Jeremiah just took another step down, and probably Francis looking to just get it away from him into the body. And as you watch it again, and just hit that, just nonchalantly away over backward square for 1 bounce for 4.
Yeah, it was a fine shot, and I love the way that he used his wrist on it. It was down the track, and even if he may have been slightly cramped, he used his wrist well, and that was the admirable thing about the shot, and he was still able to get quite a great deal of power. Hits that over the extra cover area. Would the catch be taken? Yes, gone. First wicket goes. Well, that was hit and it stayed in the air for quite some time. And of course, Jeremiah looking, searching for the deep extra cover boundary. The catch taken. And so the Ginger Generals, they've lost their first wicket. It's now 12 for 1.
Well, it's a pretty good shot. And Jane Noel, who took up a pretty good catch, having to run around to his right in the deep extra cover area. The Ginger Generals themselves did have a couple of blunders in the field. They did drop Nkosi Centile pretty earlier on, and they did pay heavily for it. I think now they will have to understand that they will have to really make up for that blunder. And pretty good catch, but it's pretty good game. They're scoring just about the first over 12 runs so far. I think in a 10 over game, Pastor, maybe the wickets wouldn't be of such a consequence than the rate at which they are allowed to score.
Yeah, they need 124 of 54 balls. And when you hear 124 of 54, it sounds as though the balls are just minimal. But quite frankly, with batsmen coming in and hitting the ball hard with alarming regularity, that can turn out to be a canter in the end. The new
Asif Hooper.
batsman is Anil Matthew.
Anil Matthew. As
who
if
had
he could.
a century recently.
Yeah. They're hitting the ball pretty well too. There's a number of players who have had pretty good form coming into this tournament.
Yeah.
So here he's facing up and opens the face of the bat,
Well done. Good cricket, boys. Good cricket, boys.
seeking to glide that behind square on the offside.
That's it.
I was going to ask you, Pastor, earlier when the brothers were together, how do brothers communicate with each other when they're ready? Do they chide each other? Do they?
Well, we have had brothers who have played together. Dwayne Bravo, Darren Bravo, played for Trinidad and Tobago for a number of years. Of course, the War brothers, I think they're probably among the more prolific ones. And in my opinion, they should be able to communicate. Their fraternity involved, you see. And in the case of the War brothers, of course, being twins, their system of communication would even be better. Looking to heave that over mid-wicket. Doesn't make contact. So Matthew and, of course, Jeremiah, they've got a work to do here. It's more than repair. They've got to accelerate. Looking to hit that over the deep mid-wicket area. And that goes across the boundary line. Six, just signaled there by the umpire. So it's another Carapar hit for 6. That was short. He rocked onto the back foot and he didn't look to hit that on the ground, mind you. He wanted it to go for the maximum and it did. Fine shot.
It's a big, tall man and he packs some power. This time he goes down the ground. In fact, not getting it too far and getting a single. But that's the way Anil Matthew is going to play.
Yes, and when he's in good nick, and he seems to be in good nick, gosh, he can hit the ball thunderously hard and with great precision too. But Hooper's done a pretty good job so far.
Well ball, boy, I say. Well ball.
Pulls that down to the long on area and gets a single. So they're 21 for 1 after 2. So that means that they're just over 10 runs per over.
They need to be going close to 14s if they are to stay in contention, because already one sees the rate climbing to 14.38 and they have to be played smart. They have to be very careful, especially early on. Not look to play too many dot balls. I think both players there are pretty experienced now at the shorter version of the game. Jeremiah, of course, the former under-19 captain, and has played in a number of tournaments since.
Wayward delivery down the leg side and diving attempt by the keeper. Wasn't able to pull that off. Leg byes signal. Welcome runs 4. Just clipping the pad on its way through. And the keeper really hurled himself spectacularly to the right, but was unable to cut that off. And it went to the boundary for 4. Well, Francis got to be very careful here. He's into his second. Doesn't want to spray it. He's got an extra delivery to bowl, though. Well, knocked him over. Played all over and around that one. For a moment, we were unsighted here. But he was looking for the big heave-ho and missed everything, I reckon. Let's look at the replay here. Did he get anything onto it? No. The off stump was rocked back and the bail spattered. So, Cinnamon Pacers, Navasa Cinnamon Pacers will be very happy with that. A couple of wickets have already fallen. Ginger Generals, they're in a precarious position. 25 for 2 after 2.2.
Yes, and a good delivery, very good delivery. One could see him angling it back into the off stump, and Jeremiah looking to give it away, and the ball not quite the delivery for the shot and losing his off stump.
Again, it shows the importance, Justin, of bowling wicket to wicket. Now, I must admit that you can't always do it. Sometimes the context of the game doesn't allow you to bowl wicket to wicket. Sometimes you may have to spray it a little outside the off stump, asking the batsman to fetch it. But by and large, when you bowl wicket to wicket, if you do miss, then there's a chance of being leg before or being bowled.
Yes, as in that case. So, as I said, they have to be careful. It's the Pacers have made a very good start in terms of wickets. And again, every time that happens, the rate just goes up a notch. And you can't let it get up to 15s and 16s and 17s.
Janelle Eugene, the new batsman. Bad delivery. Again, spraying down the leg side. Keeper made a valiant effort. And like the one before the previous delivery, and that going into the boundary for 4. Again, was a good delivery before that. The previous one, this one was badly sprayed. And of course, the keeper having trouble to glove that one and to keep it from going. He's got to be very careful here, Francis. Yes, he's picked up 2 wickets, but he has been wayward at times. So he's got to look at that. It's important. Though you're picking up wickets, you've got to also concede less runs. That one was just helped down to the deep backward square boundary, and that's gone away again. Well, again, he is just spraying outside the leg stump. Let's look at it here. Guilty of straying down the leg side. And, of course, the fine leg inside the circle lifted it over his head, and that went into the boundary for 4.
Well, just probably getting a little bit too straight now, looking to a bit too straight. And the ball with the angling into the pad, and easy pickings, easy for the batsman to just help it on its way. And that's what it is. So far, 8 runs, 8 and for 12, 13 runs in the over so far.
Yeah, that's expensive, but it's going to do well, of course, for the Ginger General. Don't forget, you've got 2 overs still remaining in, 2 deliveries remaining in this over. He stands up there for a moment, arms akimbo, maybe a little bit frustrated that he has disappointed his teammates by slanting the ball down the leg side and punished from the bat on one occasion, then sprayed too wide and went for 4 leg byes.
But in this format of the game goes at such a pace that there will be moments like these in the game where maybe 2 deliveries that you didn't quite get in the right area will quickly disappear, and you would find that you will have as well as there may be times when you may get it right, and batsmen find it a little bit difficult to get the deliveries away.
103 runs required of 44. It's going to take quite a bit of getting to overhaul it. Francis. Sin. Much better delivery this time. The batsman in Eugene gets on top of it and sparred it down behind point.
Of course, Eugene is almost a household name in Grenada or in the cricketing fraternity.
Yeah, John Eugene of St. Lucia played for the West Indies A team and represented St. Lucia and the Windward Islands for so many years.
Of course. Now his son in there going to work wonders also, and getting an outside edge and the ball flying away to probably where a second slip would have been, probably over where a second slip would have been, as we look at it again, and outer portion of the bat. The keeper can't get a hand to it, and it rushes away down to 3rd man for 4.
And again, it proves how important it is when you're outside the off stump and you're going after it. The rule is go hard, go very hard. And that was what exactly Eugene did. He went hard, took the outside edge, flew to the left of the keeper, who made a rather despairing attempt to pluck that out of the air, but it was hit much too fast and too hard. and went down to the third man boundary for 4. So 3 overs gone is 37 for 2.
Well, 37 for 2. I mean, they could be happy with that so far. It's a steady start. It's probably just in and around where they would like to be. Scoring at 12.33, requiring 14.14. But it's holidays, and one left to be seen. But as far as the Ginger Pacers is concerned, they will have to continue to take wickets.
Get it! Oh! Master, down the line.
Once again.
Well, they have to continue to take wickets, but not when Matthew is careening like that. As I said earlier on, he's in good touch, and he knows what's needed. He knows that they're 95 to get in 41. So he'll be going hard. That one was close to be a wide. Maybe he thought that it was outside the line.
Just the arm ball there by Hooper. In good pulling and good thinking to by Hooper. Rushing him also, not giving him time to think too much.
One. Back up by next time.
It's not down to the mid-wicket region. They get only 1. So it's been a very good over so far by Hooper. He's mixing it up, pushing it through at times, and just a little slower sometimes. So he's not quite predictable. And that's so important as a bowler. If the batsman can predict what you're doing in terms of trajectory and speed, then you can come in for a bit of caning. But he's done pretty well so far. He's into his second, none for 14. There was Eugene just trying to open the face of the bat and gliding down the third man. Didn't make contact. Very good bowling here by Hooper. He's kept the batsman in check so far. Flatter, shorter cuts down to the sweeper position. But they can get only 1 as the return comes in. Just the 1 bounce to the keeper. So that completes the over. No, I think you've still got what?
It wouldn't mind the singles at all, because that really wouldn't hurt the Cinnamon Pacers.
Yeah, so after 4 overs, it's 43 for 2. Ginger Generals.
But they're still just over in close to or just about where the Ginger Generals were, the Cinnamon Pacers were when they batted. So they will still think that they has a chance of overhauling that total. As we said earlier, it will be quite a mountain to climb, we believe. The conditions is good. The pitch holds no terror. It's just a question of whether the Ginger Generals has what is required to really take this game by the scruff of the neck.
So Hooper none for 15 off 2. I think he could feel very satisfied with his delivery. Captain must be happy with that. And if you're none for 15 off 2 in a 10-10, then it's almost like none for 7 off 2 in a 2020.
Custin Murray. Starts with a wide.
Yeah, slanting down the leg side. You can hear him grunting. A feature, of course, that has become rather prolific in cricket in recent years. Even some spinners do grunt. And of course, if you think about grunting also, you must think about lawn tennis, where most of the international stars these days, they grunt. They scamper for a single. There is an appeal for run out.
And he's gone. He's run out. Well. More disaster there for the Ginger Generals. tried it. Good work there by Costin Murray. In fact, quick work too. Yes, and Anil Matthews been caught short.
And there was a little start and stop, a little start and stop. He didn't really flow through, and that's how important it is, Justin, that you've got to be backing up as a non-striker. Always alert as a monkey. You've got to be always looking for the single, especially in T10 cricket, where everything goes at a frenetic pace. Backing up is quite crucial, and I dare say if he were backing up in a much more alert manner, he may have just gotten there.
It's coming out now quite a mess. I mean, in fact, all the dot on his clothes, maybe the laundry will say, okay, you have to fit that bill because you run yourself out and you're giving us a lot of extra work now to do the washing.
It's all part and parcel of the game of cricket now, though. But great work to see his back. Ginger Generals, 44 for 3. We're in over number 5.
This is a very crucial stage of the game. They were 44 for 3. Probably they would feel that they would have lost probably 1-2 wickets more than they really wanted to at this stage.
Over. Five left.
And with that, of course, the run rate is dropping.
Well, I would say climbing rather.
The asking rate is climbing. It's now gone over 15, almost 16.
92 of 35. Looking maybe to uppercut that down to third man, but it was a bit late on the shot. And went into the gloves of the keeper. So Gerard Gilks will have to do a bit of restoration work here for the Ginger Generals, but he doesn't have much time to assess. It's got to be all guns blazing. That one is confirmed, the wide outside the off stump.
Yes, very wide indeed, and going further away by Cotson Murray.
Just wondered whether going around the wicket may not be the better thing to do. Just
but he's
maybe
done it
seeking
now.
to.
Listening to
there
you, man.
goes, yeah.
Listening to you. We're not too far away, you know.
Yeah, just looking at his angle, he's angling it across the right-handed batsman, but the angle is taking it just too far. So let's try from around the wicket and see whether he can cramp the batsman. Well, that one is hit down to the mid-wicket area, gets a single. Hooper is down there, sends a difficult return for the keeper. It's not the sort of return that any keeper likes. Keeper likes them coming directly into the glove, or if it's one bounce and straight to the glove, well, that's fine.
He did succeed in just cramping Jilks for room a bit, and Jilks probably looking to get it a lot squarer. Only succeeding in getting it down towards the long on area and for a single, and that's what you want. You want to ensure that you limit the scoring rate and put pressure. Oh, that was so another wide.
Yeah, he certainly has not gotten his radar right. And then, of course, to complicate the matter, he's now facing the left-handed Eugene. So his angle got to be different. He was bowling against the right-hander. Now he's got the left-hander. And he's come back over the wicket. He's got a good opportunity to slant the ball into the left-handed batsman.
And he's been generally short most of the time, as he was on this last occasion again, short outside the off stump. And
yeah, Eugene doesn't seem to have his timing right. He's soaked up 8 deliveries, only 13 runs. Now that's not going to do very well. It's going to hurt the Ginger Generals. Too many deliveries have gone on unanswered. There's an appeal for caught behind. The umpire says not out there.
Williams continue to appeal.
Oh my God. He looked rather confident, I dare say, Williams.
The ball passed pretty close to the bat, one should say. But one cannot say with certainty that there was an edge.
But it was a good delivery, one
Yes.
that had bunks attached to it and a little bit of lateral movement into the left-handed batsman. 13 of 9 is Eugene. Not good, really not good. They seem to be stuck there at 47 for 3.
Oh, but that was beautiful. Wow. Delivery short just around the off stump, outside the off stump, and he just stood up straight, almost leaned backward and opened the face of the bat, and the ball went like a tracer bullet down to the third man boundary for 4. Happened so easy.
The 50 has come up, 51 of 5 overs. So just a little under 10 runs per over. Yeah, Justin, it's not always about how massive the batsman's shoulder is and how much power, but rather the timing, and that was absolutely exquisite. Waited until the last moment, and when Leather and Willow connected, there was a sweet sound, and it was caressed with precision, and not only was the timing well, but the placement between the backward point and the third man was wonderful. It was almost surgical. 51 for 3 after 5. So Eugene is 17 from 10. It's still slow going on his spot. Now he has to be the one that would really go after the bowling now. They require 85 runs, and they've got to get there in 30 balls, 5 overs. We're at the halfway stage. Here is Noel. Leaves that in the air. That's going to go all the way. That's a maximum. So it's a carry power hit 6. Flying shot. Short enough. Rocked onto the back foot. Free his arms. And lifted it very well over the boundary. That went 6 runs. That was a lovely shot.
Well, one can say it's probably not quite panic time yet, but they would need to keep the boundary hitting going, and also they will need to rotate strike, not play as much dot balls. What I think Cinnamon Pacers were able to do when they batting was to punctuate those big shots with singles and twos, and this certainly helped, and they did not play many dot balls as a result.
Yeah, in the case of Ginger Generals, though, very much in contrast, there have been several dot balls so far. It is very important when you're playing this version of the game to hit boundaries. Now, in regards to the 2020, the rotation of the strike is crucial, and rotation of the strike in any version of the game is important. But the shorter the version is, the more boundaries are expected. So when you're playing 10-10 cricket, it means that those singles are important. Yes, but you've got to be aiming at the boundary with alarming regularity.
So we've seen a change of ball, of course. For viewers who probably is not quite familiar with the Lasaja playing field, of course there's a river which runs just to the back of the where we're looking at the northern end.
Yeah, it runs from north to south.
Yes, and ever so often, when the ball is struck out there, it gets into the river. Not easy to retrieve the ball once it gets into the river. So on a couple of occasions so far, we've seen the umpire come out with the ball with a replacement ball. I wouldn't say a new one, a replacement ball when it can't be found. So find out from time to time.
I think this is the second one in the inning so far.
Yeah.
So Noel will get ready. to Jilks. All is well now with replacement ball. It's a lovely sight here at the Lassages playing field. Pristine, ethereal day. Good delivery. Looking to give himself room, but that was just outside the off stump. Didn't make contact. And Williams collecting behind the stumps. Tugs that one out on the outside as the bowler runs across to his right, fleet-footed. The batsman had time to cross for the single. So, though the extras might be a bit more than the Nawasa Cinnamon Pacers would have liked, yet I think they've got the Generals, Ginger Generals, exactly where they want them. It's at 58 for 3 into the 6th.
Catch it, just stop it. Well, ball, good stuff.
Fielder down there, sweeping. They can get one.
All right, after this one.
You just get the feeling that the junior generals, they need a move on. They need to. We're approaching what, almost 18 runs and over now.
Well ball, well ball. That's well ball.
Just can't seem to get the ball over the boundary or even through the fielders and to the boundary most of the time.
Yes, you've got to be thinking when you're playing 10-10 cricket. You've got to be thinking at least 2 boundaries and over. That's important, whether it might be 2 4s or 2 6s. But that has to be the frame of mind with any batter to get at least 2. And then there are the odd wide or the single rotating the strike. But it is crucial to aim and target at least 2 boundaries. Maybe a maximum 6 and a 4 or a couple of 4s or a couple of 6s.
A slight mix up there with we were John thinking that it was the end of the over. It wasn't quite yet.
One more to go,
One more to go. These things do happen.
Yes, so Noel has to go back. Just confirmed by the umpire. Hey, you've got one more delivery.
This one go get the wicket.
None for 9. Eugene takes strike. 11 of 18. Or 18 of 11 rather. Pulls that one down to the deep mid-wicket boundary, and the catch taken just about maybe about 6 feet inside the deep mid-wicket boundary, and so Eugene goes. Gone for 18 of 12.
Made 18, but it was a struggle while he was there. He never really got on top of things. He never really got going the way he think he should have. It was generally good bowling. They did bowl pretty well to him also. Kept it straight, and therefore he didn't have too much opportunities to free the arm. But you just get the feeling that with every wicket that falls, that Ginger Generals would really struggle to get, well, I would say pretty close to this total.
Yeah, with 4 wickets gone, your top 4 back in the hut means that the lower order, they've got just 4 overs remaining. And Ginger General, of course, they need 76 for 4. I mean, and except you've got someone who can really be extraordinarily aggressive, maybe get 20 in 1 over and 18 in a second, then you can have a bit of excitement. But it looks as though it's going to be Hooper coming back.
Duncan.
No, Duncan, I beg your pardon. Hooper completed his 2.
2, yes.
Duncan, beg your pardon. They've got slightly similar body structure.
Duncan do have a golden arm. Do have a knack for taking wickets. He's taken some wickets in
Lifts that down to the deep mid-wicket area. Ball drops just in front of the fielder coming in. But again, didn't cue that all that well. Got a single. Jilks is 9, taking strike. Christian Stewart. Sorry. Stewart, no, taking strike, beg your pardon. Turned up on the onside. They go to for a quick single. Yeah, but it doesn't look very good for the Generals here.
No, they don't at all. And the Pacers will be happy to give up the singles, probably even twos or the odd 4 here and there. They really haven't been able to power their way through. They haven't been able to stay with the rate now. They've just dropped under 10. So, very, very difficult from here on.
Yeah. They still need 74 from 22 legal deliveries. Well, he lifts that down to the deep mid-wicket boundary, gone all the way. That's a fine shot. For a moment, it looked as though the deep mid-wicket fielder came into play, but it's another power hit 6 over the wide deep mid-wicket boundary, and turned out to be a fine shot.
Well, so of course, for a moment, Cotson Murray down there felt that probably it may have dropped for him, but not on this occasion at all. He just had to look at the sail over his head.
Great shot. Full toss. Hit down to the long one. They will, in fact, come back for the second. Good running. Good aggressive running. I think that's the first time we've seen that element of aggression and desire to turn 1 into 2. Maybe a bit belated.
Of course, Jay down there on the boundary. He did move quickly, but not a very strong arm, not a very strong return. So it really didn't put them under any kind of pressure whatsoever.
Swings that one down to deep square and gets a single.
Again, this time Murray quickly off the boundary, so therefore there was no thought of a second.
So 11 runs coming off this over. From the context of the game, an expensive one.
It's gotten a bit more than they've been scoring at. I think it's that period, that time when we'll be probably beginning to see batsmen losing their shape quite a bit in an effort to really throw everything at it. And it probably could even become comical at times. But 7 gone, just 3 to go. And in excess of 21.67 needed.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost over by the shouting. Just a question of how close probably they can come to that 130 or that they has to score.
Yeah. You certainly want your run rate after 7 to have been around maybe 90, 100, way behind the 8 ball, so to speak. But the required run rate over 20. And you never say impossible in cricket. I understand that, but there is a word called improbable.
Because you want to remain within striking distance, and in doing that you want to be scoring just about that rate, that required rate, that which is required. It's almost double now. The asking rate is almost double, so very difficult.
You need in your last 2, let's assume, to get 25 from the last 2. Those are gettable, and it really brings a greater sense of anticipation and excitement. But when you have to go at 21, almost 22, it's virtually impossible. Outside the off stump. Maybe the batsman May have just say to the umpire, well, was that a little on the wider side?
It looked wide, but possibly the batsman may have, I didn't pick it up, whether he would have went across towards the off stump. Of course, that moves the line.
And then when you're a left-handed bowler, it can start,
Straight
that's
up again.
inside,
Straight up.
up in the air with the catch be
no.
taken, dropped in no man's land. 3 fielders seeking to converge at the same time. And luckily fell amidst all 3. Well, a bit of luck on your side, and every batsman needs that.
I think they gotten 2 against. It was pretty good running. In fact, while the ball was in the air, they did a hustle and got 2. Probably we should have seen that urgency earlier in the innings. Of course, Scott Murray is under no pressure whatsoever now, bowling with the asking rate now at 23. He can certainly look to execute his skills. Look at the ball as you see, pretty wide, and force the batsman to reach out and try to hit the ball. Of course, they would have not much control over that with a field that is set deep on the offside. So we'll be happy to give away 1 or 2. This time it's a full toss, and that went high, and this time he made a hash of it. Noel long there. We should have taken that.
Yes, should have taken it. It may not have been the easiest chance in the world, I must admit. But at this level, he had sufficient time to look. Now he's coming forward, and one wonders whether indeed he had to dive forward. No. In my opinion, he had sufficient time to see the ball coming, make a step or 2 forward, and that would have aborted the having to dive forward. Bit of misjudgment.
Pretty high. We just heard to the umpire that it could have been over waist height. I think it was.
The 13 balls remaining in this innings favors, of course, the Nawasa Cinnamon Pacers. Hits that, or looking to hit that over long on. Must have just taken his eyes off the ball. Doesn't make contact. And so the over comes to an end. 8 overs gone. 75 for 4. 75 for 4. Jilks is 22 of 15. And Stewart 2 of 3.
The Cousin has bowled 2 overs for 12 runs. That's remarkable in a T10 tournament where they're chasing 135, 136. It's a pretty good over. And I think the Ginger Generals now probably they would have to look at probably preserving some wickets now and looking at probably later down in the tournament where the averages may come into it. So you will want to preserve your wickets and try to get as close as you can. So that's the
I believe Justin in making hay while the sun shines.
Yes.
Peeling off the outside edge, running down to the boundary, and that's 4 runs. That's not where he wanted it to go. Obviously wanted it to be much straighter, but it took the outside edge and scurried across the turf very quickly, and it went for 4. Welcome boundary of the first over of the first delivery rather of the 9th over.
Well, here's a chance where Stewart has a chance to arrest the officer with a wide delivery. And given wide, yes, wide outside the off stop. So peels away again now from the outside portion of the bat, and good work down on the boundary there as the 2 fieldsmen give chase and ball being pulled back to the chasing fieldsman fielder, and as a result they managed to come back for 2.
Yeah, that's good. I love to see effort regardless of the point of position of the game.
This one is high again, and an easy catch this time for, who is that? Asif Hooper, or that's Duncan. The ball going high into the air, and a wicket there for Murray. This
Yeah.
is the time of the match when black batsmen will be looking to go hard and losing their form. That was one of the instances.
It was a comfortable catch. This came right chest area. That's where most fielders would gleefully accept them, when it's right around the chest area. And so another wicket has fallen. Ginger Generals, a rather sorry sight now at 82 for 5 in the 9th over. I think it'd be rather embarrassing to see what the required run rate is.
This brings Dennis Sawyer George to the crease. What can he do? I didn't think he had the best day with the ball too, Sawyer.
And not much time for him to redeem himself either. Takes what looks to be a middle stump guard.
Yes.
What was your guard like, Justin? You took middle and leg?
Yes, Motu was leg stump
Leg
because I was wanted to free the arms, like to tie it up. I thought.
I always loved batting middle stump. I don't think I changed it over the years.
My memory, my recollection of you then, you were such a neat player off the stumps and off your pad that I wasn't so prolific off my pad. I have to say honestly. I always like to get the foot out of the way, ensure that the foot is out of the way.
Those days you're talking about, Justin, they're probably 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But they were great days, rather exciting days. The days of great cricket in the West Indies. It's that down to long on, and they get a single.
And of course, except if I was fleet-footed as you, where I could have against some of the bowlers who had such pace, where they would have gotten the foot away out of the way in time, or get it bat down in time before the ball thumped into the pad. It was another story. So you needed to get the foot out of the way and keep it out of the way most of the time.
Agreed.
Oh, what a chance.
Yeah, he was backing away outside the leg stump and looking to make room to cart it through the outside. Took a healthy edge. And Williams dropping it behind. Can't fault him too much. That's not an easy take. Especially with the batsman making room outside the leg stump. Yeah, you talk about getting the feet out of the way. And back then, of course, the pads were not as soft and padded and sponge filled as they are today. And knock on the pad by a delivery at 90 miles per hour, you certainly will feel it.
Unlike today, there wasn't too many fast bowlers who were not bowling 90 miles per hour. Quite a few of them.
Oh yes, they were quick. And I never thought that there would be a time in Caribbean cricket when there will be a scarcity for fast bowlers.
1-1, let's stop it. Get it, get it, get it.
It's good to see that Cinnamon Pacers not really giving up in the field at all. They're still hustling to the ball and they're still trying to make the half chances into a chance, and right down to the 10th over, the final ball, they will be showing that effort. The game is over by a long time ago it was over, in fact. But it's good to see that they're still looking to, as I said, run rate. A lot of things may come into later on in the tournament.
Yes, I believe in playing the game hard. And even when you're going to win comprehensively, you still got to go. If you've got your opponent's nose in the dust, you've got to rub it harder.
1. Good, that's good. Easy, easy.
Gets a single down to long on. Of course, they needed much more than that. And even if this over is the biggest, which of course it's not with 3 deliveries gone. Still, it's going to result in a loss for the Ginger Generals.
That would be a huge loss.
That's really well, bowler. Easy.
Tugged
Yeah.
down to
That's great.
down to backward square. The ball taking the inner portion of the bat. So it's been a good over so far. Just 3 runs coming off 4 deliveries. 3 singles and there was a dot ball.
One. Easy one.
So the slower bowlers have certainly done a very decent job. As we seen in basically even in international cricket, the slower bowlers are really coming into their own, into the fore, and in these type of competitions where in the past I know you would not have risked slow bowlers at a certain stage in the game. Now the slow bowlers are bowling at the death.
Here's the final delivery coming up. And
That's it.
I'm sure that the Cinnamon Pacers, the Wassa Cinnamon Pacers, will be so very happy with this. Restricting the Ginger Generals to 88 for 5 of the allotted 10 overs. And so they've won this game comprehensively. It was not a closely fought game at all. It was lopsided. And what a wonderful performance by Cinnamon Pacers. Maybe when they posted 135, they probably thought that it was enough. And quite rightly so. Turned out to be more than enough. And they've won this game by 47 runs. A comprehensive victory. And when you win a 10-10 by 47 runs, it's rather lopsided and comprehensive.
Indeed it is. And from the outset of the game, from the start of the game, really and truly, Cinnamon, they took control of proceedings out there, especially with Nikosi St. Louis. He played a marvelous inning. That inning of 74 really set the tone. And with the small contributions from the other players down the order, was basically just the icing of the cake. And this basically batted the Ginger Generals out of the game.
So, St. Hilaire 74 of 33, Williams 22 of 10, Ryan John a quick fire 11 of 6, and Eugene had 1 for 18, Dennis George 1 for 32 of 2, and Ronald Williams 1 for 32 of 2. Ginger General, well, Jared Giles 25 of 19, Jonel Eugene 18 of 12, and Anil Matthew tragically run out 12 of 7. Ricardo Murray had 1 for 9 of 1. Jaron Noel also picking up a wicket. But by and large, it was the Cinnamon Pacers who prevailed against the Ginger General, and they won by 47 runs. Wonderful performance by Cinnamon Pacers.
Yes. And the Ginger Generals, yeah, they'll be very happy. And of course, they would want to continue that progress through the rest of the tournament as we too get ready for the next assignment, the next game coming up. And it's a pretty nice day, pretty beautiful day after all the rains that we had yesterday.
Yes, certainly. It's a lovely day and a great day for cricket. So just to remind you that Cinnamon Pacers, they've won by 47 runs, comprehensive victory. And please don't go too far away. Our next match coming up shortly.
Okay, so I'm here with Johan Jeremiah of the Ginger Generals. Johan, you won the toss. You elected to field. Results not really going your way. What's your thought on your team's performance?
Yeah, as I said at the toss, it's just the first game, so I don't want it to be too hard on the guys. So it's just for us to learn, see where we went wrong and like to come stronger next game.
What, in your view, would have been the reason for, the total being posted?
I think, it's just bowlers taking a bit, long to assess, and understand their plans, so it's just for us to go back, and I just want to encourage the bowlers to stick to their plans a little more, give it time to work.
Well, you saw the way the wicket played. Your thoughts on what fans can expect from the Ginger Generals from here on in?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think this year I'm just feeling good about this tournament. We didn't start how we wanted to start, but nevertheless, it's just to put that behind our back and move forward.
All right, thank you very much, Johan. So that is it for us. We're going to be making a presentation shortly, and so we'll do that presentation after the toss.